Take the Citadel.
You gave me hope when it seemed hopeless. You put a song in my heart. Showed me a road not often taken. You gave me a start all the way. Why did you ever change your name all the way? Why did you ever change your name? Because you were like a wave on the ocean, wild and free you came. And you were like a storm coming out of mountains, never to be tamed all the way. Why did you ever change your name all the way? Why did you ever change your name?
Welcome back to Lady Babylon's Satanic Initiation in our final season. This is fantastic. I want to bring to you tonight something that's so scrumptious, so you're going to love it. Here's what I'm doing. I'm doing something a little bit different tonight. We're going to reach out to the now, and we're going to pull in a little bit of the now so that we can breathe and we can see that future on one side and that past on the other. This is fantastic. We are going to go to the ivory tower and we're going to bring it down tonight on Lady Babylon. We're going to follow Jesus tonight. We're going to come right back to where we had cozied up to him last time. Don't worry, I've got a special drop. We're going to go straight in. We're going to be looking right over his shoulder. We're also going to we're going to start out with a look at what's being said. What's being said, we're going to go a little bit different tonight. A little bit of, wait a minute. Before we do, you guys know what we've got to do? We've got to purify this place. Chewy, this place stinks. I need some of that sulfur. I need some theon. I need to bring in the purification because tonight we are affecting what is going on around us. You're going to love this. Bring in the sulfur. We're gonna purify. People, hold your nostrils. Ready? Go. Roll it.
The only question is God going to allow our nation to enter a time of judgment for our collective sins, which his mercy and grace have held back for some time? Or is he going to give us one more chance to restore the foundations and return to him? We will not be able to do it without the Lord's help because the flesh is, and the mistrust and the sin and everything is so great here that this is going to have to bring people to their knees. And I believe God is about to do something. The faith in our institutions is as low as it's ever been in the history of our nation. The culture is so dark and depraved that it almost seems irredeemable at this point. The church attendance in America dropped below 50% for the first time in our history since they began to measure the data 60 years ago. And the number of people who do not believe in absolute truth is now above the majority for the first time. So 1 in 3 teen girls contemplated suicide last year. 1 in 4 high school students identifies as something other than straight. We're losing the country.
Here comes the purgation. Here it comes. Are you ready? We're gonna clean this place out. We're gonna bring it back to a place of perfection and cleansing. Yes, that's what we're going to do. Sulfur is necessary. Sulfur is necessary. What does sulfur do? Sulfur purges those daimones, right? When you have a scene of murder, you have to clean it. You can't just clean it on a physical level. You've got to clean it so deep it goes to the fabric. goes the fabric of the cosmos. You got to burn sulfur. You've got to drive those forces out. Now, let's bring in the articles. Look, you're going to love this, people. Are you ready? Bring in the art. I know this is special for me tonight. So go ahead, bring it up. People, look at this. This is the Christian Century. Fantastic. Look at the date on this thing, November 2023. That's fantastic. What month is it? Exactly. Okay. Mushrooms at the table. People have long tried to trace the connection between the early church's Eucharistic practice and psychedelic substances. Scholars aren't convinced. Take it down. Scholars aren't convinced. Scholars aren't convinced. I'm going to do us all a public service tonight. All right. I'm going to give it and lay it out. And you guys know, you in the Satanic congregation, I can feel you. I can feel you. We're going to make it happen. This Bacchic stuff is just beginning. Tonight, it's cracking here. What about this article? What did it say? Let's look at it. Let's look at a couple of little excerpts from it. Blow it up here. Let me get my glasses, Chewy. In the tumultuous 16th century, this is the opening. Whoo! Sets the stage. A Dominican friar named Giordano Bruno argued that the universe was infinite and had no celestial body at its center. He also believed in the transmigration of the soul, also known as reincarnation. His execution by the Roman Inquisition on February 17th, 1600, which prefigured the more famous heresy trial of Galileo, made him one of the early martyrs, modern science. Take it down. Take it down. Oh, you feel that? We're setting the stage. They burned him alive. Yeah, poor Bruno. He's got a statue now. Let's see. Why is that relevant to the drugs? Hit the next one. Hit the next one. People, we're going to be talking about some authorial stuff tonight. This is fantastic. I'm going to give you, take it down. I'm going to give you a scoop and an insight that you will not have otherwise been able to obtain about this publication. Oh, fantastic. You're going to love it. See? Because you're part of the congregation. Because you're part of the congregation. And that's everyone. That is everyone, whether you are a Baptist or whether you are a evangelical, whether you're Catholic, whether you're an atheist. Yeah. That's you. That's all of us together. Yeah. Love it. Love it. All for free. All for free. It's in the contract. Let's go. Watch this, people. Watch the quotes. You're going to love me. Love me. Brian Mirescu argues just this in his 2020 book, The Immortality Key, The Secret History of the Religion with No Name. The lawyer and writer subscribes to the, quote, pagan continuity theory, a speculative idea that a secret tradition dating back to the Eleusinian mysteries of ancient Greece has been kept alive by an underground network of witches and wise men through the use of mind-expanding plants and drugs. What passes for Holy Communion in church today, he suggests, is just a pale imitation of these secret age-old rites. Does that sound familiar? It should. Because when Brian came to me, sent by Dr. Carl Ruck, it was because he needed to know what was going on with the drugs. He needed to know what the doctors were saying and doing. He needed to know about the pharmacological text, right? And Ruck sent him to me because Ruck knows, right? I'm a freak for that stuff. It's got my fetish. Let's look at some drugs. You guys love it too. It's the only reason you bunch of historical druggies. Yeah, I love it, don't you? Let's get it up. We have a mosh pit anywhere. We should start a mosh pit here, right in the middle. Can you see it? Let's go. Let's go to the next one. You guys are going to love this. Can we just enjoy this ride? This is the last season of Satanic Initiation. Can we just enjoy it? Look, Chewy, pull that up. I'm just gonna bask. Oh God, it feels so good, doesn't it? Thomas. Thomas, what's this guy's name? Catois. Tom is an authority on Christian mystical traditions at the Jesuit School of Theology. Tom, that's so impressive. In Berkeley, I did my basic training at Berkeley with the Greek, intensive Greek. California said there's no evidence. I love Berkeley. That psychoactive plants had anything to do, and had nothing to do with Bruno's heresy trial. Thanks. John Mabry, a progressive Christian mystic and retired United Church of Christ pastor. He's got a lot about him. Calls Mirror Rescue's theories about pagans, drugs, and Christianity a bunch of nonsense. Look, isn't that funny? Look, where's this guy from? I think it must be around 1690. Yeah, I'm getting is anybody smelling the stink of the 17th? Did somebody open up a can of Flatus from the 17th century? Oh, who did that? Come here, Mary. Find that person. Oh, let's go. Okay, I love this. Bring up the next part of the article. You guys are gonna love it. But wait, take it down. Take it down. I'm so excited. Look, when Brian came to me, then and he interviewed me, right? Just interviewed, and I told him I laid everything out about the drugs and where you could find it, where it is, and why. It's so frustrating that nobody at Harvard is even paying attention. That's why we get all the dumb things they say. Harvard says dumb things to you. Yes, they do. So let's look at this stuff. Another quote from the article. Blow that up. Blow that up. I had the misfortune of reading The Immortality. Oh my God, the guy's got a sense of humor, right? Said Mabry, Pastor Mabry, who now teaches. Listen to what he teaches. Just listen to this and imagine I'm a teacher of spiritual direction. Spiritual direction. Okay, I see where he's coming. He's going to come from spiritual direction. At the Interfaith Chaplaincy Institute, he's at an institute. Let him out. I didn't appreciate the church bashing. Oh, sir, I say, the church is an easy target and for good reason. Wait, what? You just told me you didn't like the bash. Oh, you're an easy target for what? Inquisition, crusades, and pogroms. Isn't that funny? He pulled out the defenses right away. Look, I know we've killed millions, untold millions of people. Yes. Sorry. Mabry, Pastor Mabry, please. These are all horrendous things that should not be swept under the rug. Whose rug? But if you want to bash the church, write that book. If you want to speculate about entheogens, write that book. It's hilarious. Look, it's hilarious, right? So, what do we have so far? We have the Dark Ages response, right? It's the Dark Ages. We're going back, people. Do you feel the vortex? Getting sucked back into it. Give me the next quote. I'm still going to give you insight as to what's going on. Blow it up. He's gone mad, Chewy. He's gone mad. The immortality key Mirror Rescue continues to present only speculative evidence that Jesus would have been passing around psychedelic wine at the Last Supper. At the Last Supper. Give me these controls. Let me read that one more time. In the immortality key, Mirror Rescue continues to present only speculative evidence that Jesus could have been passing around psychedelic wine at the Last Supper. Are we there? Oh, I'm sorry. We got hit by a tractor beam or something. I don't know what that was. What are you? There you go, Chewy. Chewy just like yanked the wheel out of my hand. Careful there. Well, sometimes I got to fly too. Um, Here it is. He lacks there's not the evidence. That's what they're saying, people. Look what they're saying in the article. The hooty hoots from the institutes are saying you lack the evidence. I'm going to put it up here tonight. Boom, boom, boom. Read it, people. And you're like, I can't because my institute doesn't pay for Greek anymore. You know, the idiots at Princeton don't can't teach themselves ancient Greek anymore. It got too hard. It got too hard for the ivory tower children. Okay, here's some hard Greek for you. And it's from antiquity, people. And all I want you to know is this is talks about the antidote to that substance that he is putting in the bread, that thing that puts you into that state of being possessed by the God. Yes, and here it is. You see the word next to the look, everybody. Harvard, quick, look over here, Harvard. Harvard. Is anybody home at Harvard? Come here. Leave it up there, Chewy. Who's the boy who guards the door at Harvard? Come here, Oliver. Come here, Oliver. It's okay. It's okay. No, Oliver. No, don't sit down. Don't sit down. Oliver, tell me something. Are the boys at Harvard awake? Are they? Okay, here it is. Now, you've had enough time, ladies and gents at Harvard, to digest the source. You can no longer say that it's speculation if they're saying it in antiquity. It's not us, it's them. This is how the sources should be handled. When you're going in for money, you're playing a game. This is how it's handled. We respect the muse. That's what we do. We support the museum. I just threw that source in your face. Let's go back to the quote. I love this. It's like, oh, God. I don't know. It's starting to remind me of something we'd find at that well. And remember that well? And he was in South Africa. Right. Love it. Okay. In a 2021 conversation with Mirror Rescue, Charles Stang, this is Charlie Stang, pointed out that while there may have been Greek mystery cults, there may have been. Hey, Charlie, you don't sound too positive about that with the mystery religions, Charlie. You just kind of may have been. You got to commit, man. When you're solving a murder, don't say may have. Suspect may have done something. That's not scientific. What's wrong with you? Greek mystery cults. They did, Charlie. Don't worry about it. Dionysian movements, communing with magic mushrooms. Why do they pick that one? Or ergot spiked beverages, right? Ergot spiked beverages. Little tip of the hat to Carl Ruck for figuring out what was in part of the dope in one of the ceremonies. That's it. What's what we need. Rescue's book does not really link this to early Christian practices. Quote, I'm not here trying to protect Christianity from the evidence of psychedelic use, said Stank, the director of Harvard's Center for the Study of World Religions. I expect we will find it. Look how Stank sounds like he's trying to run for office, doesn't he? On the one hand, I may stand on this side of the fence. On the other, I'd like to stand over here. You can't do that in science, Stank. But I don't think we have found it. And I think that's an important distinction to make. Stank. Take that down. Yeah. Right. Okay. Bring it up again for Stank. Stank. No, bring Greek up, Chewy, for Stank one more time. Hey. Hoo-ha, Stank. Here it is. You don't need to speculate anymore. You don't need to speculate. If you had read the text, In the original, you'd have picked it up. Your work stank. Give us the next quote. Oh, I love this. Let's look. Now we're in the, you know, the article. We're in the article, swimming in it tonight, right? I thought you said we were going to Jesus. Don't worry, he's coming. He's coming. There's evidence and there's belief, says the author of the article. In the end, it really comes down to belief. Seriously? Seriously. Do you not see the Middle Ages? Do you not see the stank of the Middle Ages? Oh my God, give me the next one. Give me the next one. What else do these geniuses come up with? Christianity has been influenced by every culture it has encountered, especially Greek culture and the Greek mystery religions, Priest said, who thinks that Christianity, Priest thinks, I don't know who this guy Priest is, but he thinks Christianity existed in a vacuum. He does. He does. He says it influenced other cultures. Christianity didn't influence Jack. Christianity came into the world through those mysteries. And if you don't know those mysteries, stank and priest, you don't know nothing. Yeah. And you can't make statements like, oh, this doesn't fit and that doesn't fit. This cannot be. How silly. I'm surprised. They don't just say how silly. And just write it off completely. But here we have drugs for you tonight, guys. Christianity has been influenced. Yeah. I think we should have a very expansive conversation. Yeah, that's going to do a lot. Unless you learn some Greek, that's not going to help you, priest. In conversation in Christianity about exactly what Brian's bringing up, not be afraid of it. If psychedelics were somehow part of our history, somehow, what? That would inform my own Christian experience. Let me tell you what your Christian ancestors were doing, stanky priest. Let me show you what they were doing. Bring it up one more time. Do it, the Greek. Take a look at it, priest. Take a look at it. It's a psychedelic sacrament. Yeah, makes them thirsty. They try to give him the antidote to balance it. Yeah, right on the cross. It's not me saying this, it's this source. And you can see, priest, at 155, antidoton. Do you see that? Antidoton? That's antidote, priest. And if you had read any of the science from antiquity, you would have known it's associated with the Christos. Because you can't have a Christos without drugs. You cannot have a Christos without drugs. We're about to go into Jesus' saliva. Does anybody want to go into Jesus' saliva tonight? Oh, yeah, Jesus. Saliva. Hit the next one. Boom. We're coming to Iota. We're coming to Iota tonight, guys. This is number 9, but numerically number 10, right? The Greeks said it's all done at 9. It's all done at 9. 10 is just a flip of the calendar, right? Love it. We are at the balance. We're at the balance. Are you ready? I'm going to bring in. When Brian went on Joe Rogan for the first time, he emailed me and he said, hey, can you assure me that X, Y, and Z about the sources? You know, he's firming up his base. And I said, yes. Wrote him back a little explanation. He said, can I mention you on Joe Rogan? And I said, yes, only if you talk at least one sentence about Jesus being arrested with a naked boy. Only. Don't bring up my name otherwise. And the name was never brought up. Right? You see how far when you go back to what is real, that science, when you go back to those sources, it makes all of the garbage that you are fed, all of the fairy tale that you're fed, it just dissipates like a cloud of flatulence from the sisters of insecurity. Yeah, yeah. Whew. They're a branch of the sisters of frustration. Yeah, it's a kind of convent type deal. I took a trip once. Anywho, let's get back to it. Let's put that down. That's dynamite. We don't want to raise that. So back to the sources here. We're with Iota. I want you to drift with me into Iota. Look at this. So it's a voice. It's a voice or a cry. Just that iya, 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 right? A voice or a cry. And look, follow down the branches. Eoe, Eoe, a cry of men or women, a cry, a roaring, blast of the zephyr, that cry. Oh God, it's so delicious. Ia, right? What is this? It's a form that of eos, right? That has a different genitive. We're talking about um, heteroclitan, heteroclitian differences between nominatism genitives. Oh my God, that's nerdy, right? But look at A, letter A, arrow. Okay, plural of eos it can be. Okay, wait a minute. Just all from that little iota? Yeah, just all from that iota. And from that iota, we also get eos, a poison, as of serpents. Oh man, venom. Venom, mad dog, venom. It's the honey with which snakes fed Iamos. Right? Iamos. Who is Iamos? You hear that, Iota people? Iota's right in the middle of those 7. Right? Iota has 3 on one side and 3 on the other. Do you hear Iota? Have you found the 7 stars? Have you found the 7 stars yet? Iota, she is right in the middle, balancing the alpha and the epsilon and the eta on one side, and then the other side, the omicron, upsilon, and omega. We're right at that bridge, right at that 4th, right? Okay, here we are. Love it. Give me the next one. Give me the next one. Boom. Oh, Ianzo. What does Ianzo mean? Look, I just want you to see there's a little bit of violet as we're painting this picture of Iota. I want you to see we're in the violet spectrum. Love it. Give me the next one. Boom. Iaheo. Oh, now we're getting a little bit out there, right? We're pulling in some consonants, getting a little bit out there. Cry, shout. Right? Using tragedy, bewail, to bewail the dead, right? To wail the dead of things sound, right? It's a sound. Where are we finding it at the bottom? Look, the Orphic Argonautica, right? So we're right in the right place. Especially look at the bottom, there's a digamma in there as well. Right on the bottom, they got a digamma before it. Weach, right? Weach. Here's the name, Iachos. Mystic name of Dionysus. Look at that, what we found in the Iota. The song in his honor. Look at number 2 where it's the song in his honor. Ho mustikos, right? The mystic Iachos. The mystic Iachos. Oh, God. Some kind of special chorus. Some kind of special chorus. We're there with the Iota. We're there with the Iota. And we're with that chorus again. How do we always come back to that Bacchic chorus? Because, people, we're here for the mystery. You're here for the initiation, right? Tonight we're going to initiate some people from Harvard. And Stank from Harvard. Fantastic. Bring the next one. Bring the next one. Leave the pigmen for now. We'll come back to them. Right. Oh, this is Iaomai. So Iaomai, right? What's to cure or to treat of diseases? Oh, I'm a healer. I'm a healer through that shout, that Bacchic shout. Yes. Why do you think this is all under the auspices of Apollo? right? Think for a minute. Jesus doesn't exist. There's no Moses. None of that stuff that was given to you in what you call the Old Testament is long time not being around, right? This is way before it. And what are they doing? That Bacchic chorus is upholding Apollo's healing cult. Yeah. Yeah. Apollo's healing cult. This is the great physician. Now, do you know why the one who is the Christ has to be the great physician? Why do you think? Why do you think that's an issue? Because that was the mystery through which Christianity was developing. Yeah, right. Here it is in the language. Here it is in the language. Give that Greek one more time. I want these guys, because these guys are at Harvard are slow. No, the Greek for the main phrase that I want to keep flashing up here. Did we bring my goat tonight, by the way? Okay. Harvard, cue in here. Here it is. You don't need to speculate anymore, right? You should have just read the sources. I know you're going to a lot of banquets, you go having a lot of drinking parties, whatever you're doing. I don't know, but it sure as hell is not the substance. Let's go for it. I anticipated you on the whole drug things. It was 10 years ago. People were saying, oh, this cannot be. Right now, they're all saying, oh, well, look, now we got to study the degree to which the drugs are used. Yeah, bravo. Let's just look at what we have with Jesus. It gets my goat. All of this stuff, it gets my goat. Look, ivory tower. Look into the cross. Look at it. We have it there to censor anything that may be foul. We'll cleanse this place with sulfur. Did you know Jesus? Here's a new one. I'm going to pop this one on you. You guys are so lucky. Did you know that Jesus had dope in his mouth? He had dope in his mouth. He had what that magus had. He had that capacity to contain in his mouth the cure. Right? What this dope is bad too. This dope is linked to the sulfur and linked to those snakes. Remember when he said, I'll have you in a place? Remember when Jesus said, I'll have you in a place where you can drink these thanasimon cocktails, these things that induce death, right? The serpents. You can drink those serpents. You can lift up those serpents. Nothing will happen to you, right? Nothing will happen to you. This is that Jesus, right? This is that Jesus. I know people don't like this Jesus that we're looking at because he's a complete, total drug user. When I read that article and saw the very idea that Jesus was using drugs is absolutely the final frontier. Yeah, it is. It is. Let's show him in all his glory. That's why we're going tonight to his spitting. That's why we're going to look at spitting Jesus. Did you see Jesus spit in that dude? Did he spit in his mouth? Put his fingers in his ears. Spit in his mouth. Oh my God. Yeah. Is he on the drugs? Yeah. They're coming out of his mouth. It's polypharmacy. Polypharmacy. You turn the person into the drug dispenser. Yeah, that's how it works. Isn't it nice? Now you know why we have all of the accounts of the dangerous poisons that are on the mouth of the people. Right? Next time you read something that you may learn in classical myth, something called classical myth, you're going to read about Heracles' dogs, for example. What are they known for? They're all known for that poison spittle, right? They call it the madness of the dog. Yeah, the dog. And people say, oh, God, it's rabies, right? Oh, God, do you realize what that's attached to? That's part of the Robigalia, isn't it? Oh, my God, we're getting into the deep agricultural stuff now. This is the real from the ancient world. Yeah. Watch that rust. Watch that rust. So here's what we have. Bring back up the source. Let's go to another one. Oh, look at this. Yeah. Oh, I want you to start looking. I want you to start looking at the spitting. Just look at the second line. What's he doing here? Kai ptusas esta omata autu. He's spitting in a dude's eyes. He's spitting in a dude's eyes, and underneath that, epithes tas heras autoi. Right? Look at you. Look at you people at Harvard. We don't talk. We do. We do, people. And yeah, my students do too. Yeah. 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 What is that bottom line? Epithes tas heras autoi. Right? He's placing his hands. Now, people say, is this the laying on of hands? This is the one that's not the grabby sexual laying on of hands. This is the one that's the putting on of hands, right? This is the application of his hands. Yeah. And how's he doing? He's got his hand in his mouth and everything. He's putting them in the eyes. He's got to put the drugs on you, right? He's got to put you through it. He's curing these people. He's curing these people. He's Christing them. Did you say he's Christing them? Yeah, we'll look at the text. Bring me the next one, Chewy. Boom. Look at this. This is Mark 7:33. Yeah. So, oh God. So he took him away. This is just Jesus and poor one of his people that he's gonna, he's gonna open him up. He's gonna open him up. Yeah, he needs help, right? It's medical. He's a great physician, you bonehead, right? And what does he do? What does he do here? He takes this guy off, right, from the crowd by himself, right? Which sounds a tad shady in the Greek. Don't get me wrong. That katidion there at the end, it's a little bit of shade of let's go somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, let's go somewhere. Shh, come on. You and me. Let's go. And anyhow, so and what does he do when they're all by themselves? Look at line 2. The Bible is perverted, people. Just wait. Just wait. Ebalin tus dactylus. He put his fingers where? Esta ota. Into his ears. Okay, so this man has just taken you in the back alley. Okay. Man, I don't know. Maybe it was somewhere nice. Maybe he had a room somewhere. I don't know. Could have been. It could have been out in the street for all I know. Well, it had to be somewhere where they were all by themselves. So I don't know. Maybe they went in a restroom. Yeah. Oh, I forgot. Oh, they didn't have any built there. Right. It's a little too early. Right. Judea is a terrible, terrible place. The Romans make fun of it constantly. It's backwater. And anybody who gets a sign there, it's because they slept with the emperor's cousin or something. You know what I mean? And he was getting tortured for it. Okay, go to the next source. Here's Mark said, yeah. So, and what does he do there? Yeah. Look. Oh God. So he's got his fingers in his ears. He's got his fingers in his ears. Okay. All right. So I'm like, well, here. Is he doing the doctor thing? Looks like the doctor thing. Is he going to stethoscope him or something? No, he spits. He spits. Yeah, he spits. Now Nonus is going to clarify where he spits. And okay, people, think about this for a minute. We know about the cobras, right? We know about the spitters. Yeah. Yeah. If we spit in people's eyes or into their mouths, and Nonus is going to clarify this. Let me be an adult for a minute. I was relishing that too much. If I were to come to your house, float through the door magically, and put my fingers in your ears and spit into your mouth, and then work your tongue, that's what it says. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. But I would suspect that there would be something that you just gave me in that spit that is affecting my What does it do for this guy? Oh God, it's a specific drug that he's employing, and it's from the house of Dawn. It's the Dawn Bringers. Yeah, the Dawn Bringer. It's what he calls it, the Dawn Bringing drug. You want the cult? I'll bring you in. The boys at Harvard, you can drop out now because you're never going to get this deep into the text. You don't care about these texts. What? That's not Henry Cavill, is it? No. Okay. Oh, it's Jesus? What? Jesus. I'm surprised we don't need a cross for that one. Uh, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Seriously? That's a cut Jesus. Nice job on the look at that. He's got the classical proportions there. Oh God, it looks like that's whoo, nice job. Michelangelo would be honored to have lunch with the dude that did that or do that, whoever it was. So okay, let's get out of Jesus in the back alley with the guy. I want to this was a little publication, The Miracle of Spit and Sight, online, little guy, Yandian. I don't know, he's a pastor or something. Give me the next one. I just want to read this to you. Jesus spit. Whoops. Go to the next one. He healed another blind man by spitting in the clay and rubbing it on the man's eyes. He's talking about John, but remember, we have John translated by somebody who knows the Orphic cult. Right? Who knows how the Bacchants work? Who knows how the Baptists work? So he's really telling you how it is. He also spit on the tongue of a man with a speech impediment. Right? And I've never heard actually in all my time, I've never heard a Christian explanation of the holy spitball loogie, the loogie of eternal clumpiness. I've never had it. Don't get all excited. In antiquity, the doctors are talking about body fluids as treatments, right? You can treat a child's eye with urine right after that child is born. If you get a virgin, which is a good, I'm just giving you what the texts are telling us. If you have a virgin and she pees into that, you can wash out that child's eyes after he or she is born, and you can limit the amount of disease that can be passed to that child's eyes. We know that things like chlamydia, right, can cause an infant to be blinded, right? And so they knew it as well, that these things could be passed in the process of birth. Yeah, these diseases could be passed on. So that's where we are drug wise. We're with we never left the midwives. We're always going to be with the midwives because that medicine is what produced all of the drugs that Jesus and his gang of hoodlum prostitute children are up to. Sister-in-law, not wife, not mother-in-law, sister-in-law. Yeah. Let's go to the next one. Boom. Oh yeah, that we got to finish it. Oh, he also spit in the tongue of man with speech. Notice that in each three cases, Jesus spit on the part of the body which was diseased. This guy's brilliant, right? Notice also it's the mouth and the eyes, right? Again showing he spit. Wait. Oh God, Chewy, he almost stayed with us. He just got evaporated by the empire. Look, he spit on the disease, not on the person. What are you talking about, dude? If I see two grown men in the parking lot spitting in each other's mouths, no, they're not spitting on some kind of allegorical disease. Dude, what is wrong with people? Are you that willing to accept the fairy tale? This is a guy with another guy, and they're spitting in each other's faces. Well, one of them, I don't know. One of them is because it's the stuff. It's the stuff that he's making. Let's go look at the actual text and see what kind of drugs is Jesus up to. You're gonna be surprised what's in Jesus's mouth in a minute, because we've got Nonus to tell us. Nonus will tell us. He'll tell us what he's doing. If he's a fire-breathing dragon, he's gonna tell us. Guess what? Theon, baby. I'm going to give you a drug that was in Jesus's mouth. You haven't had this one yet. What's in Jesus's mouth? I want some. Don't you? If I heard about this guy, I'd be like, Jesus. Wouldn't you? You'd try it once, right? Try it at least once. Oh, come on. You wouldn't let Jesus? Chewy, would you let Jesus spit in your mouth like this guy? How about eyes? What about eyes? No? No. You kids at Bible study, right? By kids, I mean figuratively. You pastors who teach Bible studies, teach this one to your students. Have them come up, say, hey, Billy, come here. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what Jesus does. Oh, Billy, run. Run, Billy. Call the cops. This guy's a pervert. Right? Right? Exactly. Yes, right. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. So, we want to find out what's in his mouth that he's spitting, that he's using as a drug. He even combines it, right, with the dirt to turn it into a paste, right? Which is something that you can see the physicians doing, right? They're making all sorts of applications like this, and they're epitithoing them. It's epitithemi, excuse me. They're epitithemi. They're putting them on. They're applying them. That's Jesus is just being the great physician. He is applying the drugs. Was Jesus using drugs? Yes. Did Jesus have drugs in his body? Yes. Was the Eucharist drugged? Yes. Bring us up that text. Show everybody. Here, show them again. No, the text. The text. Boom. Everybody look at that. Were there drugs in the Eucharist? Yes. Here it is. Here it is. It's vision inducing. Vision inducing Eucharist. Make an announcement. How can we do this? Do I blow a trumpet or something? Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Here it is, people. Harvard, get off your butts. Look at this. Now, if I had been with Brian on Rogan, that's what I would have given him, was that evidence, right? So the article that we saw in the beginning is it's really a little bit disingenuous because those people don't do the sources. They don't know, right? Look, did you see him holding up their hands? Well, if it were the case that happened, then we would change our opinion, right? Well, why don't you get off your backside and take a look? Take a look. It gets my goat. It gets my goat. Cover. Hello. I love her so much. What's her name? We need a name for the goat. What's that? Penelope. I like that. Penelope the goat. Don't look there, you dirty people. Don't do that. This is standards here. It's educational. What I'm doing, let me explain. What I'm doing is I'm associating that cross with my inability to show anything of a nature of that would entail something underneath a goat's tail. Yeah. And who doesn't love goats, man? Seriously. You can never have enough goats. I know one of us has like, how many did she have? It's like 20? 20 goats. Get more. Keep getting goats. Make a giant goat school. Love it. A school for wayward goats. Go. Ace Colpon. Oh, this is spitting, people. We can divert omens this way, right? We can spit into our colpos. What? Yes, we can. Let those of you with ears to hear. Let's go to the next. Boom. Look at this. So, yeah. So Jesus knew the jig was up, says this. I'm translating it, right? So that the scripture could be fulfilled, he says, I am thirsty. We're back on the cross with him. I just wanted to see Jesus yelling out. I think I just wanted you to imagine for a minute Jesus yelling out, I am in the thirsty zone. right? Will somebody shut that guy up? He keeps screaming about something to drink. He's driving the cops crazy. They're taking him water bottle after water bottle. Go. No, seriously, they just gave him drugs. And there was this skewo sitting there, right? And it's full of that oxus. And what happens? Somebody puts a sponge up with the oxus, right? And they're holding it there over his mouth. And what happens? Go to the next one. Go to the next one. Yeah, yeah. All of a sudden I transported us. We're going to Bethsaida, right? And there's this dude there that, he's got a disability, you know what I mean? And they're begging him, do something about it. Use your hands, brah. Get handsy with him. This blind person. And what happens? What happens? Keep going, keep going. Let's see what happens. He takes him aside, you know what I mean? And he does what? He takes him out of there and spits in his eyes. Yeah, he puts his hands in his eyes. He says, what do you see now? Right? Okay, this is that Jesus. Go to the next one. Let's look at what he's actually doing, people. This is good stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it's just about restoring his vision. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. And here's the actual, now here's the bit that I want to give you from John. This is from the Gospel of John, right? And he's here. After he said these things, he spits on the ground. Chamai. And what does he do? He makes a palon. He makes a palon, which is like a paste or it's sometimes translated as clay. Yeah, from the pneusmatos. Yeah, from the stuff that came out of his mouth, right? And he's going to put this palon now on his eyes. Well, that makes sense. It's perfectly in line with what the doctors are doing. What is a pneusma? Well, pneusma is sputum. Sputum. And you say, Amen. Jesus is just being a good doctor. Amen. Jesus is just being a good doctor. Until you see number 2. Oh, what the more? That guy is such a serpent venom junkie. Now, this makes perfect sense, people, because we all know that stuff in their mouths, that stuff can kill you. That temple guardian that we call the Medusa, she has a stuff that runs out of her mouth. It can kill you. She will spit it into your eyes. You wonder why you got to cut her head off. Yeah. She'll spit it into your eyes. And when that slaver, when that foam, and Nonis is going to describe it as foam. Just wait. We're going to look in Jesus' mouth in a minute. This is the most disgusting dental trip you've ever taken in your life, but we're going to go. Nobody's ever gone. Wait, Chewy, has anybody been here? This is uncharted. This is uncharted. Nobody's gone in Jesus' mouth. Oh my God, people, we just hit the outer sector. We just hit the outer rim, baby. Jesus's mouth. Nobody's gone. Who's gone to Jesus's mouth? Why did you go into Jesus's mouth? I saw him. He was in the alley with this dude, right? He's doing stuff with it. There's tongue stuff going, right? What the? Yeah. Why are his fingers in his ears? What's he doing? Put your fingers. Watch what happens. Watch what happens. Get that stuff on your finger. Put the fingers in the, yeah. Of course, I wanted to see what it was that he had in his mouth. Let's keep going. We're going to see it. Oh God, look, this is torture for me, but I'm going to put on my glasses. Thank you. Chewy is trying to give me an eye test. It must be demonstrated, therefore, that there is a rational power in animals. I thought that was nice just to put that up there, right? This is from antiquity. I forget who this was now. I'll think of it in a minute. And in the first place, indeed, each of them knows whether it is imbecile or strong. In consequence of this, it defends some parts of itself but attacks with others. Thus, the panther uses its tooth, the lion its nails and teeth, the horse its hooves, the ox his horns. Yeah, nice. The cock its spurs, scorpion its sting. But, and I love this part, but the serpents in Egypt use their spittle. For what reason they're called ptuades, the spitters. Okay. In this way, they blind the eyes of those who approach. Right? Your eyes are that portal into your system, into your physiology. Right? And if you see the burning purple in somebody's eyes, know that it's just, yes, it will cause blindness, but it is part of the process. And there are ways of treating people with theriacs. Yeah. So this is a complex world. They're balancing out this potential total death and blindness or blindness with the potentiality that you can ride that pharmaceutical line, that you can stay in that as a Christos. Let's look at that Christos, right? We've got more Christing going on. The next one, wherever the next, did I get around to that? Yeah, did I? Oh, yeah, that's it. That's all I want to do. The spitters. We talked about the spitters. Keep going. Eos. What is Eos? It's that venom, right? Ptuas, ptuados. The spitter, kind of asp. It's what we call an asp if we're in 19th century, right? Middle 19th century. Philuminus talks about this in On His Poisonous Creatures. Have any of you read that? No, nobody has. We have, hey, except for us. Let me add that, except for us, because we have. Yeah, take that. Take that, Harvard. Look what you're doing. You have access to things that Harvard doesn't because they're boneheads. You say, how can you offend Harvard? How dare you? What a waste. What a waste of energy. Let's go to the next source. Yeah. I just wanted you to see, look at the last word here, right, people? I'm going to take you to some medical side, and I want you to see the Smyrna and the end of it there. They're going to be using, all he's doing is talking about making an application that is epitithe. It's the same thing. You are applying for the sake of your wounds, right? Pushing the thorn, they called it. For the sake of those, you can put on those a plaster that's made out of these, but it's using the Smyrna. So when you're dosing with the venoms, you need something to counterbalance them, and that's what they're providing, right? So make sure you've got your Smyrna. Now, what do they give Jesus when he's hanging there on the cross? They give him Smyrnized wine. That's what the text says, people. Right? They're trying to balance out the effects that the guy was going through, right? If you want to die from that thirst, go ahead. Or you can do what the priestesses do and bring yourself back to the other side. Follow Eve, baby. Follow Eve. Adam is a closed loop. Yeah. Follow Eve. Make some progress. Let's go. They'll never do it. The watchers told me. Next one. Look at this. I just want you to see. Oh God, this is Nonus's explanation, right? And look, he's calling Jesus the Wanox again, right? But look, he's spitting. He's spitting. In the next one, we'll see the verb. Don't switch there. But in the next one, we'll see the verb. But what is he spitting? He's spitting theon. He's spitting theon. People, that's a drug. It's a drug. It's used in medicine. It's used all over. It's used for ritual purifications. Look it up. People talk about what its root could have been. I've seen old scholars, no recent, but old scholarship on what it probably was, right? Sulfur, right? You're going to find sulfur. Give me the next one. on that dry ground, that's what you have to put, right? What is he doing? He's doing it. This is Jesus. He's describing Jesus, spitting into the guys, spitting on their faces, right? And here it's into the mouth. It says it's into the mouth. This is the mouth guy. This is the mouth guy. Please understand that. Spit in my mouth, Jesus. Holy Jesus. Jesus Christ. Spit in my mouth, please. Why has nobody written a hymn on the blessed spittle of Jesus? Has anybody? I bet some weird cult groups probably get involved in the spittle of Jesus, right? You know what I mean? Spittle of Jesus. Let's get it. Let's get the spittle of Jesus. You know, chemically we can reproduce it. Yeah. Nobody cares, but oh well, maybe in a few years. Let's go back to yeah. Oh, let's just okay. So on the second line here, I just wanted you to see. First line, actually, the last two words, aphron, right? That aphron is the foam. Jesus, Nona says, Jesus, it's not just clear spittle, like, somebody walking up and spitting on the ground, right? No, it's worked up into a froth. It's worked up into aphron. You know why they call her the frothy? Aphrodite. You know why they call her that? You know what I'm talking about? Everybody, anybody who's worshiped, take it down. Anybody who's worshiped Aphrodite, and by that, you know exactly what I mean. You've been there. You've been there. Yeah. You know the froth. You know the foam. It's that. It's that foam that Jesus has in his mouth. In his mouth. Jesus got it in his mouth. Frothy aphrodisiac foam. You got to balance this stuff with the Smyrna, or you're in deep. And they tried to give it to him while I was hanging there, and everybody's like, "Oh, why are they doing that?" It was they bring out the fairy tale, right? Bring on the British actors. Let's just do this the good old King James way. Yeah, no, that's not how it happened, dude. They were balancing him. And we saw that Nona told us that it's a balance for what is in that Eucharist. It is the balance for that blood and body, for that bread and wine. Yeah, it's that balance. Good. You need it, or the side effects are going to kill you, dude. You might be hanging there on the cross and just boom, it gets you. Yeah. And the Roman soldiers are like, huh? Let's break his legs. No, let's not. He's already dead. Just poke him. Boop. Right? OD. Do you classify that as an OD? Did you know your Savior, Christianity? Everybody at the Bible Institute who was part of that article tonight, did you know your Savior was a junkie? You know he OD'd to death? Yeah. If they had been able to get to him the proper chemicals, they could have brought him out of it. Right? They're doing that stuff all the time. It's resurrection. That was his deal. Right? Resurrection, death and resurrection. Right? Being born again. I'm going to open your eyes, baby. Whether you like it or not, open your eyes and look at the naked boy that's with Jesus when he gets arrested at 4 a.m. in a public park. Look at him. It took me over an hour to get to that kid, but he's still there. He's not leaving. These are in the text. Okay. I'm sorry. Let's go one more time to that text. I just want people to see that foam. Oh, God, to see that foam one more time. What does he do? He makes that pasty thing out of it. But I want you to look on line 3, the 1, 2, the second word, pelon, and the fourth word, physphoron. Physphoron. All my Greek students. What does Jesus make? Take it down. He makes the Luciferian pelon. He makes the Luciferian, or the light-bringing medicine, the pelon. I'm going to put it in your eyes, baby. Right? You're going to see. You're going to see. Why? Because I'm the light of the world. I'm the light of the world. If you'd asked me, I'd have given you the water of life. You want the water of life? Give me, Jesus. I know I know Gangsta G. He's supposed to be a J. Gangsta G. I know Gangsta G is on the stuff. That's why I want you to spit in my mouth, Gangsta G. I want to know what is in the blessed mouth. I want that holy loogie. I want it. I want to rub it around the inside of my mouth. No, is that too much? Seriously, of everything we've talked about, that was too much? Oh my God, is anybody commenting? The loogie. Seriously? The sacred loogie drove you off. All right. All right. Right. It was even worse. That was even worse. They called it. Yeah. What do they call the seed of Jesus? They call that the love of God. Isn't that quaint? Give me some love of God. Now you're like, oh my God, he was talking about that with his boys, with his little mathetai, his little students. He was talking about that with them. Oh God, now you understand why he speaks in parables. Do you think the whole time it was so that you would have some magic understanding? No, it was so you wouldn't understand what he was doing. Right? Look, when you're a lay stace, you got to hide the stuff. You can't openly function like this. The authorities will break down. Give me a loogie, Jesus. Give it right to me. I want that loogie so much. Praise and glory. Hallelujah, loogie. Give it to me. I would take it too, right in the mouth. I bet. Yeah, Jesus. Jesus, give me it. Give me it. Let's not be gratified by this. No gratification. Go to the next source. What's our theon here? They're going to identify it as brimstone. What are you from the Dark Ages? Brimstone. Used to fumigate and purify. Oh, love it. Look at the sources on the bottom. You see Dioscorides. Notice that it's perhaps cognate with thuo, guys, in Greek, thuo. You know, that's the word of sacrifice, right? And I tell you every time, I'm like, don't think of sacrifice like you think. Think of it as using a substance, turning it into a vapor so that you can partake of it. You mean that guy standing out there with his vape pen is closer to ancient religion? Yeah. Yeah, sorry. Right, it's the way it is. It was all connected. They never separated. The nature was a part of it, right? And that's why Paul's going around giving everybody a hard time saying, don't call me that. Don't tell me that I'm a follower of the Christos, right? And he's got his flesh. He's that drug using monkey has his thorn in his flesh. He's flying on the venoms, baby. Yeah, love it. And it's not just their combos too, by the way. You can't just get them the way everybody else gets them, right? Oh, you got to go through that oracle. Love it. That's why the pithy is yelling at Paul. Let's keep going. They don't care. The folks at the Religious Institute, they don't care. Yeah. So this is more of it. Yeah. So this is, you see that paylon is in there. He made that. What did he do with the paylon that is on line 2? Look at the first word in line 3. Epechrisen. He did what? He Christed my eyes, baby. He's Christed your eyes. Yeah, he Christed your eyes. Notice they're not sitting there because you who were part. I'm talking to the guy at Berkeley. I think it was Stank at Harvard or Priest. I can't remember which one. Harvard. I think it was Harvard. Who's the guy at Berkeley? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Dr. Doolittle. Thanks, Chewy. What you've got here, people, when you use the term Christ, you think in the Bible institutes and the Bible colleges, you think in the Bible departments, that this is like a special term that was used, came out of Jesus's mouth, and then everybody was like, huh? Yeah, right, we'll adopt that term. No. Christianity comes through the Hellenistic world. It doesn't exist in a vacuum. It is there because of the Greek culture. It's there because of the Greek religion. And they're using a term that the doctors are also using, right? It's the technical application. I told you guys that everybody says, ha, Messiah, and it has nothing to do with that. It is the application of a drug. Jesus is the Christos. He's the one who has the Christing. That's why we want him to spit in our mouths and our eyes. I want him to spit wherever he wants, right? If I'm going to be a good Christian, if this guy who promised us tonight, you saw it, I think it was Priest who said it. One of these guys said, it's okay. One of these guys said, hey, if it's that way and ultimately we're going to find it, it's Stank from Harvard. If it's that way and ultimately we're going to have to embrace it. Guess what, Stank? You're going to have to embrace it a lot deeper inside of you than you thought. Yeah, you're going to have to. It, yeah, he's going to spit because that exchange of the drug is absolutely paramount to the practice. It is what is the mystery. You don't get a mystery without complex combos of drugs produced by people, right, who can do the Christing. Yeah, remember Medea? She's the first recorded incident that I've found. The first recorded incident that of Christing. Yeah, so this is a Bronze Age development, right? Maybe she created it herself. I would tend to think because they explain the fumigations as her specific creation and producing that Bacchic entheotic state, you would think logically that because she's the one who's using those drugs, that the Christing has to come through those specific drugs. So probably more likely than not, she's the source, right? She's the one who develops that treatment. It wasn't always around. It didn't hang from the trees, right? It's evolution and biology, right? So, yeah, there we are. There we are. This is what I wanted to bring you tonight. I wanted to bring you a little bit of the present, and I wanted to pull in so that we can see the future and the past. I wanted to kind of sit and dwell in that present bubble. I want to, people say don't do that because it dates you, but in the iota, we have to set that center point. I want to bring in the theon. I want to bring in the sulfur to purge this place again, right? Which Jesus had in his mouth. Yeah, the guy was extreme, bro. And I want to bring back the sulfur purge. Watch this. Let's do it one more time. This is our present bubble. Focus from the throne. Hit it, Chewy.
The only question is God going to allow our nation to enter a time of judgment for our collective sins, which his mercy and grace have held back for some time? Or is he going to give us one more chance to restore the foundations and return to him? We will not be able to do it without the Lord's help because the flesh is, and the mistrust and the sin and everything is so great here that this is going to have to bring people to their knees. And I believe God is about to do something. The faith in our institutions is as low as it's ever been in the history of our nation. The culture is so dark and depraved that it almost seems irredeemable at this point. The church attendance in America dropped below 50% for the first time in our history since they began to measure the data 60 years ago. And the number of people who do not believe in absolute truth is now above the majority for the first time. So 1 in 3 teen girls contemplated suicide last year. 1 in 4 high school students identifies as something other than straight. We're losing the country.
It's dark. It's dark. I can feel your sin. I can feel it. I can feel those decisions that you make and the things you contemplate. I can feel them. I can feel those feelings that you have, that you're part of this darkness that is spreading. And this is the foundation, that the third, okay, just so people know, if President Biden falls down the stairs or something and Kamala Harris, ends up, I don't know, going off and doing something else. This gentleman will be the master holding the torch of democracy for the world. Yeah. Yeah. This cleansing that you can smell from him, right? This cleansing that you can smell. You smell the sulfur on his breath. You smell it. It's your sin. It's your sin. If you even look, keep your eyes closed, because if you even look, you're guilty. You're guilty. This darkness, right, that sits in the foremost place of our brains, this storm, this darkness, this fury. This is the kind of thing that if you don't purge it, you're going to end up spitting a loogie into somebody's mouth. Yeah. People, this is all the same history. It's all the same person through time. Yeah. Reflecting that power. What happened tonight? We didn't see the world receive the knowledge, right? We didn't see it. We see a church that's very upset about bashing, right? And we see a refusal to look at the sources. Tonight on Lady Babylon, we establish the source. I have provided it for you, you people at Harvard. I have provided it for you. Yeah. If you are the least bit competent, which I'm not confident of. If you're the least bit competent, you'll take these sources and you'll run with them and you'll honor the muse. But I know what's in your shorts. I know when you go to bed tonight how it's going to feel. I know, because once you've been there for the sake of gain, once you sell your soul, the devil knows you're impure. Yeah. Thank you for coming tonight. Hail Satan.
You never cared for fame and fortune or worldly renown. On the day that it came knocking, you just turned it down all away. Why did you ever change your